Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to chat all about soft skills, what they are, how you can acquire them, and why they are so critical for any career field. In cybersecurity, we talk a lot about technical skills and sometimes forget the importance of soft skills. And I believe that soft skills are almost as important, if not more important, than the technical side. So today, what we have done is we've asked a special guest to come on the show who brings a wealth of knowledge from different career fields. Lola Kureno is a cybersecurity engineer with INE and root access protection. She is actually on the show today, calling in from Japan. So super excited to have her. She is known also as a hacker, and she is a huge advocate in the cybersecurity community for giving back to the community. Not only is she a rock star on the technical side, but this gal has her soft skills locked down. So I'm so excited to have her on the show today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Lola onto the stage. Lola.
That was a great introduction. So flattered.
Oh, it was easy. It was so awesome. I'm so excited to have you.
Well, I am such a fan of yours. So having you giving that super introduction about me, I'm like, am I okay? I'm in the wrong stream here.
No, you're
Thank you
amazing.
so much for having me, Jax. Really appreciate it.
It is my pleasure. We were right before we hit record, we were chatting it up, and you were about to go into a really awesome story. It's like, we need to stop. We have to hit record because
Yeah.
we are just going to start digging into your background. So before we dig into the guts of soft skills and really get into that side of the show, I would love for you to take a few minutes to share a little bit about your background with the viewers.
Sure, I'll do that. So yeah, my background has nothing to do with tech. I don't come from a tech background. I actually was on classical ballet. I was a classical ballerina before. Since I was 3 years old, I dedicated my whole entire life to classical ballet. And that was what I did until my early 20s. I was a professional, and I was in the peak of my career until that very unfortunate day when I was a passenger in my coworker's car going to work, and we had a bad accident. And to make it short, I was like 6 months in the hospital, plus 2 years of rehabilitation, and my career was over. I almost died. It was like very bad. I basically broke like almost every bone in my body and had like very serious injuries. So my career was over. I could not do this professionally anymore. And it took me quite a while. Like the rehabilitation was done in 2 years, but it's not only the physical. You need to recover from like physically, but you have always lots of emotional things. It's not every day that something that you spend your whole life dedicating yourself to just ends. Like, what are you gonna do? I mean, I don't know how to do anything else. I said in other interview, I wasn't that high school kid who is like finishing high school and wondering, oh, now which kind of college I'm gonna go, which career. No, my career was already decided since I was gonna dance the rest of my life. So I thought. So I needed time to figure it out. So lots of things happened. I left the country I was living in. I went to live in Europe for a little bit. I was there for 2 years. Ended up getting married and came here to Japan. And financially, my life had changed also. So I had to get a job to help pay the bills here with my husband. But I didn't really know to do anything else besides ballet. So I just got a normal job in a company, it's like 8 to 5. And I spent like 1, 2, 3 years doing that. But it wasn't making me happy because, oh, sure, I was getting a salary, I was helping pay the bills, but I missed having something that fulfilled me, like ballet did, something that I could dedicate myself, something that would like challenge me and would like give me the possibility of learning new things, like perfect myself, everything that goes. I always liked computers. I mean, my father was an engineer. He developed car engines and used a lot of computer stuff too. Uh, but it was kind of a hobby. It was nothing serious. And my husband was seeing that I wasn't happy, like having this job. And he says, "Oh, why don't you do something with the computer? You're so good at the computer." I was like, I wasn't very sure about it. I was like, yeah, I'll look in research because I wasn't sure that I couldn't do anything without a degree. So I started looking into it, what I could get on, like make like study or whatever. So I found like YouTube videos that were talking about ethical hacking, and I was like, "What? Can you hack?" I get paid because my image of hacking was like from the movie Hackers, like Mr. Robot kind of thing, and I
Yep.
wasn't very sure about it. I was like, what, really? Is that serious? It's not only like a movie. Can you really do that? So I started researching more, got super curious, and I was introduced to the world of cybersecurity by it, just by doing self study and wanted to know more. And then I came in contact with videos from the Cyber Mentor. Then I started studying all the material that he was offering. Then I met someone on Facebook that was going to take the JPT at INE. I didn't, not in my wildest dreams, I could have, like, then I would imagine that it would be the company that I would be working for one day. So I started studying by it and just like making this like my daily thing. I would still have a full-time job, so that was done on the weekends or after work, and other like meeting other streamers. Then I came in contact with cybersecurity from Neil Bridges, and I was super shy. I just would watch, wouldn't chat at all, and yeah, that was the beginning of it. And the more I did it, the more I studied, like always self-studying, the it was clear to me there was something that I could dedicate myself to. It would give me the possibility to always improve my skills. And it gave me the same satisfaction that I had once with ballet, you know? It's not, I'm absolutely, it's not the same thing, but it's something that also requires you to have like lots of dedication, discipline, and not be complacent. It's not like you learn something is going to be it forever. No, you have to always be upgrading, updating yourself.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That is, you blew me away. I was over here and you started talking about classical ballet, and I was like, she was a ballerina. And yeah, you didn't hear
Yeah.
that
But
prior
I
to
was
us
much
hitting record.
thinner by then. I was like half my size. Now I'm like the heaviest I've been my whole life because I sit too much in front of the computer. But yes,
Wow, such a journey. And to know that your trajectory of life changed because of the car accident that you were in. But you made it work. You went, definitely, you had some challenging times in your life, because that, I can only imagine thinking, this is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to be. You've made it. And then it all basically changing completely because of one thing that just happened, the car accident.
and
Wow.
it's not only physical, it's what it does with your head, you know,
Yeah.
your emotions. I went to a deep depression, like until recently, like always taking antidepressant medication.
Mhm.
It kind of messes up with your head. It's not something that is so simple. Okay, now I can't do it anymore. Let's move on. No, you don't move on so easily for something that you know don't know any different. You have done since the early ages of your life, you know.
Yeah, that's extremely impressive. And to see how resilient you are, and you've bounced back, and you're already showing your resilience by getting into an industry that's can be very challenging to get into. And you pretty much, you've self-taught yourself into the position that you're in right now, which is amazing. And I love that. God, wow, Lola, I'm blown away right now. I'm sorry, you have to come back.
Yeah,
On.
you're listening to this story for the first time. So.
No, this is like, wow. It's just because I understand that my background being in the military and then having my own set of injuries that I've had to overcome, and then refinding your passion is one of the most challenging things and you could ever do, because you really don't think that you're ever going to feel that way again, yet you did, and you're in the community and working in cyber, and now you've found your passion. I just love that.
Yeah, like same as ballet, and I'm sure same as you with the military. It requires you have that discipline. You have to get things done. You can't be, and cyber gives you that. It's not that the industry for complacent people who are just happy to like punch your time card and like be gone until who knows when. It's not that. You have to you got your mind always at work and learning. You have that desire of always learning new things.
Yeah, and talking on the learning sides, to pivot back into soft skills, what is your thoughts around learning soft skills? Like, we can learn the technical skills. There's a lot of individuals in this industry that are self-taught, like yourself, like myself. But do you believe that the soft side can be learned?
Yes and no. Of course, I think it goes to the person's personality. But personally, I'll tell you, I'm a work in progress, learning to talk to people, learning how to behave myself in the different work situations, like meetings and who I speak with, networking. Yeah, I'm a work in progress. There's a lot of room for improvement. But I think, yes, you can learn it. Because like I said, in my previous occupation, there was sometimes that you had interviews, you had lots of things you needed to know how to communicate. But I feel that cybersecurity, more so than my previous world, requires you to have these soft skills. And the same as the technical skills, you can work hard to improve them. You can learn, definitely you can. Like I said, it depends on the personality, I think. I see myself as a very I won't say shy. Yeah, I am a little shy in person. I do much better online than I do in person. Like I think I'm an introverted person, but more than being introverted or being shy, I have a desire to do a good job. And I feel that's like having good skills and good soft skills allows me to do my job and communicate to those around me, because the job I do is not something that I do alone. I'm not hiding here in this little office. I have to communicate constantly with people. And if I improve the way that I communicate with them, I tell them my thoughts, I tell them my ideas, what I expect from them, and we're clear, then you do a better job than if you don't develop those skills. So my desire to do a good job is stronger than my being introverted and being shy, definitely. So I think you can learn it.
Yeah, we can definitely tell that you're very resilient, and I agree with you. I agree with personality, because I'm actually like you. I'm introverted. I can be extroverted. I think they call it ambivert now, where it's individuals that can
ambivert.
Ambivert, yeah. It's like the in between. I think we made that word up. They being like the medical gods, but it's individuals that can be extroverted when they need to be. They can learn that, but where they really recharge is still being introverted. That's me. I like my alone time.
Alone time.
I like my alone time. I don't like being in big networking events, but I will go because it's a necessary evil. But I will go with a strategy. Like, I'll typically know who's going to be attending, what are the top 3 people I want to talk to, and then I try to accomplish all of that without being rushed, because you don't want to not be sincere. But I go in trying to talk to those primary people because it helps me not feel overwhelmed. And I feel like that aligns with soft skills. I think soft skills can be taught, but it is it's harder for introverted people and you have to get outside of your comfort zone. But for me, developing those skills was like strategizing, but still being authentic. And it's kind of along the lines of what you were talking about. You were saying you were struggling with, I think you said something about knowing your environment. And I think I want to dig a little bit more on that, because I think with soft skills, it's really important to know your environment versus being in a boardroom, being in an office space, being at happy hour, being at a Christmas event. All of those are going to have you're going to present a different, especially as an introvert, I'm going to be presenting a different type of extroverted energy in every single one of those environments. And I want to know, do you have any experiences on your side? Because you would mention I'm still learning, I'm a work in progress. Are there times where you're like, ooh, I need to pull back because I'm in this environment or this meeting right now? Do you have any examples of that you could provide?
Especially if I think being an introverted and being a person of a few words, but that gives you the possibility to listen a lot, and you kind of study how people around you who are more experienced than you are behaving. And you kind of mentally take notes and you just listen, you can you don't need to either fall asleep or play with your phone or pretend. No, you're listening what they're saying. You look at that person, how they communicate with the other person, and that person, how they communicate with the other one. I have learned a lot by doing that, when you're on smaller meetings, that is like maybe you and two people that you kind of have to interact with them. My strategy is not talking about work right away. Just make small talk. Maybe it sounds a little cliche, but it works with me. Test the mood, People, are they smiling? Are they relaxed? Just smile, greet them, make a little small talk to break the ice a little bit, especially if you don't know them. And that I learned by observing other people doing that. Definitely. But yeah, like you said, you're not going to behave the same way if you're in a meeting with a bunch of CEOs. You're going to behave if you're in like office happy hour, that everyone is like relaxed, they're drinking or whatever. But as an introverted, I have learned a lot by listening only, being quiet, being there, paying attention what people around me are doing.
Yeah, I like how you said, I never thought about it that way, but I wrote it down, person of few words. So true. I didn't used to talk a lot in certain social settings because I would just be so shy, and some of that was also around being a woman in this space or being a woman in the male dominated spaces that I've been in prior to cybersecurity, where it was like, okay, well, that person's already said what I was going to say, so I'm just not going to say it. But what I've realized is part of having soft skills and knowing that I'm an introvert, if we don't speak up, even though that guy, across the way from you, Bill, has already said what you were going to say, you still need to say something. And that, I think, has also changed because of my position in the organization and being a leader and being a manager, being an executive. I think that depending on your position in the company also dictates the level of soft skills, because I think soft skills are critical for any career field. We've talked about that. But I think they're even more critical when you get up into higher management. If you're just wanting to stay introverted and be that person with few words and only does their job, then being an engineer, staying at that senior analyst level is probably where you're going to be. Can you get into an executive role and not have good interpersonal soft skills? Absolutely. And we all know those people. They sometimes don't make maybe the best, most dynamic leaders, is what, from my experience. So something I've always done for myself to help me with soft skills is know my room, and then know when it's okay to just listen. Because there's times that I just listen. I'm in a meeting and I will just listen, but there are more times than not, because of my role being an executive, that I have to speak up. So I make sure that If it's a meeting, I know what the meeting's about, and I don't just say something to say something. I make sure that it adds value to the discussion of what I'm saying. But as a woman in this field, though, do you believe that it's more critical for us to speak up and find our place? Or do you think that being quiet, sitting back can also be as beneficial? If that,
I think more than focusing if you're a woman or if you're a man, it comes by like you have to learn. And like I said, I think you learn a lot by being quiet. It doesn't mean like if you're spoken to, obviously you have to open your mouth and know how to convey your thoughts in a clear, maybe succinct way, not to be like, especially if you're new, you know. So just yes, of course, you have to. If you're, especially if you're spoken to, you have to in a smart way convey your thoughts. But I don't think the fact if you're quiet and you're just listening, I don't think it has anything to do with the fact of being a woman or being a man. You know, like for example, if I am in the meeting, the same meeting that you are, I would be quietly learning with you because you're an executive. I would definitely be learning with you how to speak, how to present myself. So I would be mostly quiet, learning from you. Someone in your position, I have lots of learning to do from.
do you think that? And I love that example. I want to dig a little bit more into it. Do you think though, like if we're in a meeting, if you have something that's of value to say, you would still speak up and share it with the room? Or if maybe something that you have to say would create friction around what I'm saying, do you think that you could still have the courage to speak up and say, I see what you're saying. However, I see this viewpoint. I'd like to present it. Do you think that, because that's another aspect of having soft skills, and it can get really scary when you're sitting in a room and you're a little bit lower in the totem pole on the rank and you've got all these executives. I think it's critical for leaders, women and men, to be able to speak up and say, okay, I agree with what you're saying, but I have a different viewpoint.
Being a lower rank, not being a non-executive in the in the company, in principle, we said, yeah. I mean, if you are in a company that you are afraid, you're intimidating to express, it doesn't mean that you're gonna get accepted. That's beyond the point. That's irrelevant. Doesn't mean that everyone's gonna tell you yes. But you should be in a company that where new ideas are allowed. You're allowed to like tell people what you're thinking and why you're thinking it. It doesn't mean people need to accept it, but you shouldn't feel intimidated. But if you're asking me personally, then now you put him in the, like Neil says, you put him in the hot seat here, because like that would go absolutely out of my comfort zone, especially if it's a meeting full of people. So if the meeting is happening, right, and I have this idea that I think is a brilliant, like there is a brilliant idea. Mm, I would have to like read the air, like the Japanese said. You have to read the air. You know, but who is in the meeting? Should I say something? Would it be more beneficial to be quiet and speak with that person who I get along with, and this person gets along with the decision maker? So if I convince that one first,
Yeah, that's
you know,
yeah.
You need to analyze. You can, oh, I had this brilliant, blah, 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 and then, oh, that idea is horrible, and then see, if you had just waited for the perfect time to express your idea, you know, that would be me personally. First, I would, okay, I want to say, actually happened recently at work. I had an idea, and I first mentioned it to someone that I work with, like my supervisor kind of thing, and he liked my idea. But it was only the two of us in the meeting. I don't think I would have felt comfortable to say something like I was thinking, if I had a room like full of C-levels, I would have waited until I felt more comfy.
I love that.
It's not black and white.
No.
You know, you need to have that critical thinking, that analyzing skills. Is it a good idea? But definitely, you have to be in a company that nobody's gonna listen to. It's not a company that you wanna work with. That doesn't encourage you to express yourself. But sometimes it's not that the company doesn't encourage you to express yourself. I work in a company that absolutely supports people expressing themselves and talking what they're thinking. But it's my personality that doesn't let me, because I'm an introvert. I'm shy. I'm not so eloquent yet.
Yes.
I'm a work in progress. Yet I'm a work in progress. So better than have everyone saying a no to my idea right away because I just didn't know how to explain it in a nicely way in a room full of people. I think it's wiser to wait and talk in a smaller room, or talk, or like consult with someone that I feel comfortable with, you know?
Yeah. So that brings me to a question, because you articulate yourself very well, and you said a couple of times, I'm not there yet. So are you
No.
are you doing certain things for yourself to help you present yourself in different situations where you can get to that level of presenting at the executive level? Or are you just kind of like flowing with it and allowing it to happen naturally as you get placed into more and more of these situations?
I actually wish I could do more, because I think that's the reason that I'm here today, because we interacted on this subject. I think is, if you want to learn a technical skill, we are in the days of, I mean, I see many people who are in this industry like for way longer than me, that they say back in their time, if they wanted to learn a technical skill, it wasn't so easy like it is today, you know. Today you can go to INE, you can go study with a cyber mentor, you can go, there are so many places that you can get to learn technical skills. But where do you go to learn soft skills?
Sounds like something that, hey, we should maybe do like a 3 to 4
I would love to,
program together.
if I know where to go, I will be the first one to sign up, like sign me up. Because like I
That's a
told
great
you,
idea.
if I look at myself like 1 year ago, when I was just like doing baby steps in cyber, even before, I didn't have this kind of talk that I have today. And I have learned by just watching how people talk on the streams, or like work meetings. Like now we are talking a very like a casual way. I don't think I would be talking like that if I was in a meeting with a CEO, for example. I would be like, yes.
I love your eyes. Wait, do that again. Do that again. Hold on, I got to zoom you in. Ready?
Yes.
That is executive talk 101 right there, ladies and gentlemen. It's all in the eyes. And the posture is.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so casual. You know,
Yeah.
you need to know how to behave in different situations.
Yep.
But you know, the thing is, I think that I have improved. But I believe, like I said, if I want to learn technical skills, I know where to go. There are many places that can teach you. You can self-study, and if you have the determination and you're willing to put on the work, you learn it.
Yeah.
Much easier. But soft skills, where do I go to learn soft skills? You know what I'm
Outpost
saying?
Gray. That's going to be one of our next series episodes coming up. We'll make that happen. I like that idea.
Where do you
love soft
go?
skills.
I know that there are places, I have never done it, but I hear there are places that help you with diction and like how to improve your speed or whatever it is. But
Toastmasters.
okay,
Toastmasters.
yeah.
I did a Toastmasters for a little while, but the best thing that really helped me was being a CEO, launching my own company. I learned through hard knocks. I learned because I would do a presentation, for example, and at the end of it, I used to speak very fast, and my mind would go so fast because of my ADHD that when I would present, it would
Oh,
be
you
hard for people.
too?
Yeah, but I control it very well. But I had to train myself to slow down. So when I think I'm talking like this, and the rest of the world is like, you're talking at a normal speed. So I had to, it was hard. But what I did is every time I did a speaking engagement or I did a presentation, I would find somebody in the room, somebody that saw it, and I would ask for feedback. And it was rough because, we don't like to have that critical feedback, but that's how we're going to change. And that's how I got better with my briefing and my soft skills. And then writing, I got better at speaking because I became a better writer. And so they all started tying in together. But through briefs and writing, I became a better communicator, and my overall communication, because communication is a soft skill, communicating well. And so that's what helped me. And then through that confidence, I then started speaking up. But for me, it was running my own company, because you have to speak up. You're your own advocate. You have to speak up. You have to know when to present yourself to a group of executives versus having dinner with the executives, and know when to relax, but don't relax too much. And for me, one of the hardest things for me was thinking, well, I want to be myself around everybody. I want to be authentic, which I am. But I change to, when I'm in business, when I'm in executive role, when I'm in a board meeting, to like you and I right now having a conversation. And even when we end this recording, you and I'll be more relaxed around you because I'm authentic, but there's just different levels of how you present yourself. And it doesn't mean you're losing yourself because now you're in a suit and you're acting this way. You just need to know, I forget how you said it in Japan, how they say it in Japan, you need to
To
know.
read the air.
Yes,
read
that's what it
read
is.
the air.
And it's just like, you're not losing yourself. You're just changing to those environments to
Oh,
benefit
you're being
you.
professional. You're being professional.
Yeah.
You're just behaving yourself. I mean, you're not gonna like behave the same way if your buddy comes to like have a beer. You can be like a tank top, put your feet up, be like you know. Are
Yes.
you gonna have like like
Yes.
yeah? Are you gonna behave like this if your CEO is watching and wants some kind of report from you?
It's,
You
some
will be
people
like,
would,
you're
but that's
fired.
where they fail. Yeah. And they think, well, they should like me for me and all these things. And
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no, 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 no.
it's different. Right. So and that's all
You
understanding
can
your
still be
environment.
yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
like be professional, Be
Yeah,
professional. Learn
absolutely.
learn to behave yourself.
Mm-hmm. So you said
Like your
something
mother said, behave yourself.
I like how you did this too. Behave yourself. Like,
behave yourself.
oh my God, I love it. You're like the executive look, the executive eye.
Oh, you like that.
So awesome. Oh my God. So
I hope Richard is not watching this right now.
Oh my gosh, I hope Neil watches this. It'll be great. He's so busy. I don't think he has time to watch it. It'll be fine. We'll know if he does, because he'll comment right about now. He'll be like, I saw you and Lola is talking about me. Oh my gosh, I love him. So I want to dig into something that you shared on LinkedIn, and I loved it. And that's why I reached out to you, because and I have the quote up here. You had put in your message to me when I did a poll about soft skills, and you said, quote, I feel that soft skills are incredibly important for our field. And unfortunately, I see many people only focusing on technical skills. And then in parentheses, I think you said something around, especially people that are new in the industry. So I wanted to dive a little bit further into that and ask you, because it sounded like you had seen and you had personal experience from this, of seeing individuals doing this. So if you could share a little bit more around that, that would be awesome.
I can share you my personal experience, and now that I am not, I'm still new. We're always kind of new, But I mean, when I was still learning, it's hard in cybersecurity when you say when I was still learning. No, you're always learning. You never stop learning. But I mean, when I was just starting, I did not have a cyber job. I was just studying. I had some other kind of job, And I was doing this in evening, nights, weekends, and sometimes I would sleep, but not always. Uh, all technical skills, you know. Okay, I like offensive security. I like red team. I like pen testing. And that's all I did, you know. All I did was studying that. And of course, when I would take a break, you would think that I would just like go, or like maybe go eat an ice cream or whatever. No, my break was watch maybe a cyber stream, like some kind of streamer or something. Like, for example, Neil at the cyber insecurity, he is always one who would like tell people about soft skills and how important they are and everything. And I was on this kind of mindset. No, I want to be a tech. I always only want to do technical. And he would say that, no, soft skills are so important. And I would be like, okay, back to my technical studies. That complete, like, oh, yeah, okay, gotcha. Back to my technical studies. That totally changed when I got finally my cyber job, you know. It changed. It absolutely changed. Actually, I started by being his intern, you know, and then he didn't have to tell me. Realized on my own. Oh my God, what he was saying like months earlier is true. I mean, and now even more at INE, it's super important. It doesn't matter if like I am like pen testing some asset or something. If I can't communicate with the IT director, or if I can't communicate with the developer or whatever that I'm working with in the meetings, people are asking me things. Those are soft skills, you know? So it's meaningless. You can do a wonderful pen test, or you can do whatever is your technical task is. But if nobody knows what it is, nobody, you can't explain what you have done. People will be, "Ah, okay, whatever, next."
Yep.
Then you just waited, you know? So yeah, and I still see it. Now I have my cyber job, but I still see people. I always connected with many people, either on Twitter or LinkedIn. And I still see people to this day who have not gotten a cyber job yet. All they do is how the same thing that I used to do before, like focusing only in the technical skills. And it's wonderful, beautiful. Maybe we need like 1,000 lifetimes to learn all the technical skills there are to learn, you know? But you don't see people when you try to talk to them about the importance of understanding the business. Yes, I know, Neil, you always say that, and now I know it's true. You need to understand the business. You need to know how to communicate with your coworkers, your superiors, your clients, your vendors. And you tell these people who only want to study, oh, I want to be a tech, I don't want to be management. And I think, oh my God, I sounded just like them. I sounded just like them. And now that I am in the industry professionally, so I am another professional who is still telling the people who want to break into the industry how important the soft skills are. And they look at you like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go back to my...
So
How,
funny.
do you know how to convince them? Because nobody convinced me when I didn't have a job in cyber yet.
I don't think it's so much convincing, but it's sharing your story and having that influence around them. And this is what we're doing, is share the story. And as you're talking, I'm like, wow, we need to do more episodes. I think there needs to be a series. I think you're the first person on the series, and it's going to be additional people coming on and sharing their story of how they got into the cybersecurity and talking about their technical versus their soft skills. Because I will say that if it wasn't for my soft skills, the jobs that I landed would not have been possible, because I wasn't as technical for those positions, but my soft skills, they paid dividends, and they knew, okay, this person has really good soft skills. She has some technical skills, but we can develop it. And that's where I like to tell people is being a business owner, I would rather hire somebody like you that has a great personality, great character, great soft skills, and has some technical understanding to be able to develop you even further, because it's harder to get somebody that comes in that's extremely technical, but they're terrible interpersonal skills. That's so much harder to train. And that's why I'm always pushing soft skills as a critical thing, because that can be one of the ways to get into this industry. Yes, you need to have your technical background, but you don't have to have 5 years of it. Just have some really good baselines and some not so much the certifications, but like you did, some training that you've done on the side that you'd show your work through your GitHub or your web portals, whatever you're utilizing to show, hey, I've got a technical baseline, but I'm really good at my communication skills and I can communicate with the engineers or the analyst on what I need. And that right there, I would hire somebody tenfold easily than I would versus somebody that has been executing they're a dev stack engineer for the last like 5 to 10 years, and they're like talking to the wall. It's very, very hard. And I think that as we mature as an industry and we go through the different stages, especially with AI, machine learning, we're going to have more jobs coming in. I believe that what's going to start separating the individuals in this industry aren't going to be the technical and versus somebody that's more technical. It's going to be somebody that has those baselines and are technical, but are very, very good at the soft skills and can communicate, because we're going to have more private and public partnerships that are going to start coming into play, and that communication and third-party vendors and things like that all of that's going to start becoming key, and communication is going to be critical in the future. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I agree. And I mean, like someone like you, I mean, you're a CEO, you have your own company, and it took you like going through many like levels of learning experiences to become who you have become today. I mean, I'm learning from you too. I think it's amazing. But I think that especially people who want to break into the industry, they need to keep an open mind. Yes, it's fine to be technical, like trying to improve your soft skills does not mean you will stop being a pen tester,
Mm-hmm.
or you will stop being a threat hunter, or you will no, you improve your soft skills, you will just will make your professional life easier. You will land you more jobs. You
Mm-hmm.
will make your communication better. You will make you more likable with your coworkers. You know how it goes. If everyone likes you, the probability that you have to for it to be beneficial to you is much higher if you're like someone that doesn't talk to anybody and just hiding like in your like behind your screen, so you don't need to stop being technical. It doesn't mean like I still like my technical skills. I still like doing pen testing and everything. But I see that I kind of see a little bit of a resistance when I talk to certain people about like really you guys have no idea. I was just like
Mm-hmm.
you, and now I'm in, and like I have to up my game on this on the soft skills. And I kind of am like, oh, so now you want to be a CISO? Oh, now you're like you're like your new goal is being a manager. I'm like, I just came, I started this year on my job. I'm not trying to be a manager. I'm just trying to do a better job. If I finished the pen test, I wrote my report, I need to be able to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to try to explain to people. You need to, is either a superior or is someone that is relevant to the whatever you found in your pain test. You need to communicate with this person.
Mm-hmm.
And what if this person doesn't have the same technical intelligence that you have? You need to be able to convey the same information. It doesn't matter. The information is the same. The listener is just different. You have to
Mm-hmm.
think about those things. So it has nothing to do. It's not the same. Having soft skills is not something that there is someone who wants to be a manager or a CISO or whatever only needs to have. No, it's everyone. That has
Fantastic.
absolutely nothing to do with your, if you want to be studying like all the time the technical, that's fine. But keep in mind that you will need You need to be human still.
I love
Yeah.
that. You need to be human. Do you have any recommendations for books for the viewers that they could maybe dive into to help them refine their soft skills?
That is I want one. I heard there is a book called the Cybersecurity Master Plan. I think
Oh,
it was.
hey,
I heard that. I
there is.
heard it in the grapevine.
I love that.
I haven't read it yet, but I want to read it.
There is cybersecurity career master plan. You guys should pick it up. We definitely go into leveling up, and communication is in there and talking about that. I would recommend, and I think it might be listed in the book. Yeah, it might be in our cybersecurity career master plan book, but it's emotional EQ, emotional intelligence 2.0. I think that is a phenomenal book for anybody that's wanting to increase your interpersonal skills. I took it. I read the book. I took the test. You take the test at the beginning, the emotional EQ test, and then you read the book and then you take the test again. And what it does is it teaches you how to read a room, how to communicate, how to do active listening, like you've talked about, how to be a good listener, but actively listen and not be sitting there while somebody's talking and being ready to shoot off a response before they've even finished, which we're terrible at in at least Western culture. Probably all over the world. We need I think everybody can be better listeners. So that's a book I would recommend.
It's a work in progress, being an active listener. Especially when you're like, it's like, wait your turn. Wait.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm guilty too.
Get excited. Yeah, you get excited. And yeah, we've done it a couple of times. We've gotten excited and then we've calmed down and we're like, okay, let the other person go.
I'm sorry. Go on.
I love it. Well, Lola, we could talk for forever, and you're coming back on the show, which is awesome. We might have to do a follow-up on this or a follow-up on resilience. But before we close out and end this, I know that some of the listeners are going to want to reach out to you. So is there a contact information or a way for them to be able to reach out to you? And I'll make sure that I add all your social media information to this episode as well.
Yeah, I'm always on Twitter, on LinkedIn, because it's not because I already have a job that my networking stops. Networking is another very important skill, you know. It's not because you got a job and you need to let your LinkedIn die. No, you have. It is a form to giving back to the community. It's always good, you know. People helped you to get where you are at. So help people who are where you were, like, doesn't matter the time. For me, it's kind of recent because I'm still a rookie, you know, but give back, you know, answer questions, like congratulate people. So if anyone wants to reach out, I'm always on LinkedIn. I am on Twitter. On Twitter, I think you can put my socials, I think, Jax, please.
Yeah, I'll put it all.
It's either Twitter or LinkedIn. I think it's the best to reach out to me.
Yeah, check out her information below. Make sure to reach out to Lola. If you have advice to give on what you've done for tips and tricks for soft skills, reach out. And if you want to be a guest on the show, and make sure to like and subscribe and share, everybody. You've been awesome. Lola, you've been great. I love you. Thank you for making the time to come on the show.
And I love you. Thank you so much for inviting me. Such an honor. I remember watching you and Neil at that stream that day. I was like, oh my God, such a fangirl, and it's such an honor to be in your show. I really, really appreciate having me. Thank you so much, Jax.
My pleasure. You're amazing. See ya.
See ya.